Hey, what's going on YouTube? Alabama Reloader here. So today's video, if I go back and look at the videos that I've uploaded over the past few years while doing this channel, a couple of videos that are towards the top of the list in terms of view count, and really the timing of the videos had more so to do with it than the content, I believe. Two of my highest viewed videos came when I talked about the 6 ARC, right? Hornady released this cartridge, brand new, I believe it was last year. Came out with it, and I've released a couple of videos talking, basically giving some thoughts on it and the genesis of the cartridge and all of that fun stuff, and then also comparing it to a couple of rounds that that it's commonly compared with, the 6.5 Grendel and the 6.8 SPC, right? So I did a couple of videos talking, going over this. So if you want to kind of see that, that was sort of a reaction, a couple of reaction videos of them coming out with this cartridge and the purpose behind it, and why it could be a good option for you, under certain criteria, right? And that was more or less the gas gun stuff. Okay, that's what it was focused on. In those videos, I was focused on the AR-15 platform, and so it's a very interesting setup in the AR-15 platform. But I want to kind of deviate. I want to talk about something else. Now I want to do a different comparison because I'm about to purchase a bolt gun in 6 ARC. So Mr. Big Guns over in Huntsville, they have some Savage Axis bolt actions, and they have them chambered in 6mm arc. So I hit up Matt. I was like, hey, hold one of those back for me. I need to come pick it up and get into this new cartridge, which is not necessarily the new has kind of worn off of it just slightly. But what I think is very interesting about it, when you approach it in a bolt gun platform, some of the stuff that you see as far as a gas gun goes, if you go watch Johnny's Reloading Bench and all that, he loads for an AR setup for this cartridge, and you can get some pretty good velocities in the AR-15 platform, but you are limited by the pressures that you can run. So that's really the downside of it. The benefits of it is you're not, if you wanted to go in a 6mm diameter traditionally, you'd have to go with an AR-10. If you wanted to go with something like a 243 Winchester, you'd have to go with an AR-10 platform. So there are a lot of benefits to running this in an AR-15 platform, but I believe there are more benefits to running it in a bolt gun. And that's what, when you first mention that, or you first hear someone say that, you might go, well, what's the point in doing that? I'll just run a 243 Winchester and call it a day, which you most definitely can do. And I've got one myself. But the more I look into the 6 ARC and the bolt gun setup, I'm gonna make a case here that I think you could do away with the 243 Winchester and just go with the 6 ARC. Now I would imagine people have the pitchforks out right now, and you've probably already left a comment that it's the dumbest thing anyone's ever said, to get away from the 243 Winchester. But I just want to kind of give you a little quick overview, my opinion on it, because the numbers really, they've got me leaning more towards the 6 ARC at the end of the day. In both test platforms, that Hornady's using a 24-inch barrel, so that's good, right? So our test platforms are similar. Of course, 243 Winchester, it came out in, what was that, 1955? So been around the block, put down a ton of deer, ton of animals over its life, but now you got the new kid on the block. What's he bringing to the table that you can't do with the 243 Winchester? Well, the short answer is he's actually bringing a decent amount to the table that the 243 can't do. Your factory 243 Winchesters, what you're going to go buy off the shelf, your Savage Axis and all that, it's going to come in a 1 in 10-inch twist barrel. That's your factory offering for the 243 Winchester. That's not to say that you can't go get some type of custom setup You can get a faster twist barrel. You know, you can swap the barrel out, get something faster twist, shoot heavier bullets. You can definitely do that. But generally, your 1 in 10 inch twist, you are going to be stabilizing up to 100 grain bullets in the 243 Winchester. Okay, so they've got 243 listed here all the way up to 105s. And you even see it right there. Hornady recommends a 1 in 9 inch or faster twist barrel to stabilize these bullets. Not saying that you can't push them fast enough to have decent amount of stability, but it's not optimal. Okay, so right there, your cutoff has traditionally been a 100 grain bullet. Okay, in 243. All right, so 100 grain bullet, we're pushing at 3,000 feet per second with 42.5 up to 48 grains of powder, depending on the powder you go with. Some slower burning options. That's typically what you're going to run in your 243 Winchester, right? So you're coming back over here to your 6 arc. Now what's the difference? Okay, big difference. Your factory barrels are going to be they're going to have a faster twist rate, which means you're going to be able to easily stabilize heavier bullets in the 6mm class. Okay, with the 6mm Creedmoor coming online and that type of stuff, you've really gotten more of this long, sleek, high ballistic coefficient bullet design. You know, 6mm stuff a lot of that's been coming out in the recent years. Well, you can't take advantage of those projectiles if you're shooting a 243 Winchester, right? You're kind of limited. Well, in the 6 arc, that limitation goes away because it is designed to shoot those heavy for caliber, heavy for diameter, whatever you want to call it, bullets. So you go up to 108s, 110s. So I mean, you can definitely shoot heavier projectiles. Heavier than that, I think there's some 115, some DTAC, some different things like that. I think Barnes has maybe a 112 match burner. So there's some other stuff you can play around with. Now your velocities, yes, they are going to be less, right? Now that's actually the 110, so I need to get over here to the 100. So your 100 grain, same bullet, right, as we were looking at in the 243. So we're 100 feet per second less, but look at the difference in the powder. You're shooting much lower charge weights, right? We were talking over here at 243 Winchester, 42.5 grains up to 48, right? Over here, we're talking 30 to 32 grains of these, you know, this range of powder to get you 2,900 feet per second. So you're only giving up 100 feet per second over what your 243 Winchester can do, right? So this is where in my mind, when it first came out and you're running as focused mostly on gas guns, you know, and then people might throw around the comparison for a 243 Winchester. In my mind, there was no comparison, right? You're comparing apples and oranges at that point if you're running a gas gun versus bolt gun data. But now that you have bolt gun data available, and it's apples to apples, and you can have true comparisons. In my opinion, there's just, if it were me today, and I know you have to also factor in ammo availability and all that. I understand that completely, right? 243 Winchester is such a common round that has been around again since 55, so there's a ton of ammo availability and all of that. But me as a hand loader, if I'm going to go purchase a new rifle, I'm not even going to look at a 243 Winchester, right? I have one, but if you had them side by side, I would go with the 6 arc all day long. There's just greater flexibility in your bullet options, the weight range that you can go up to, and then the powder that you can use to achieve those velocities, because the case design is so efficient over what the 243 case, you know, that design, just 308 neck down. The 6 arc is just such a purpose-built cartridge that your powder needed to generate the velocities that you can achieve is just much less. And so from that aspect of it, and again, you know, go watch Ron Spomer, go watch his channel. If you're not subscribed to him, man, he puts out some great stuff. But he actually just put out a video about killing I think it might have been a white-tailed deer or a mule deer, at 777 yards. I think it's like the longest shot he's ever taken on an animal. And he killed it with the 6.8 Western, right? Winchester's new cartridge that they came out with. But in that video, he references the 6mm arc because it is a new cartridge. And so he was like, maybe I shot the animal with this, right? He's a little bit of a teaser of a video. But he shows some numbers on the 6 arc and compares the felt recoil between that and a 243 Winchester. And the 243 Winchester has, you know, it's like a couple of foot-pounds, 2 or 3 more of recoil energy, I believe it is. I think it's what it shows on his chart, than the 6 arc. And so again, the 243 Winchester is so mild in terms of recoil, but still, you know, it all plays into the decision process, right? I mean, this is something, these charge weights, to achieve these velocities, your charge weights are obviously, the case design is much more efficient than the 243 Winchester. And if I just had to pick, you know, I would be going with the 6 arc because of the flexibility from a hand loader's point of view. And then if you're just, you know, average Joe, you're not a hand loader, you're just going to run out, you know, run down to Cabela's or wherever and buy you some factory ammo, well, then that's something that you may need to take into consideration, right? If you want the 243 Winchester, it's going to be much more readily available in terms of factory ammunition. But if you're a hand loader and you're willing to be a little patient on finding components, I know I have a buddy that uses 6.5 Grendel cases for his 6 arc brass, because 6 arc brass is just like everything else, very difficult to find. But if you can, of course, 6.5 Grendel brass is also difficult to find, but if you happen to find some, then you can neck that down and fire form it out, and you're in the ball game with some 6 arc brass. So there are ways that you can definitely get into it now as a hand loader. And for me, it just kind of makes it a no-brainer when you look at it, when you look at what you can achieve. If you wanted to shoot like the 103 ELDX, you know, for a 243 Winchester, again, Hornady recommends a faster twist barrel than what you're going to run, than what you're going to come into with all of your factory offerings, right? They're basically all going to be 1 in 10 twist barrels. And Hornady recommends a 1 in 9 to run the 103. Not saying you can't in a 1 in 10, but it's not optimal, right? And so now with this platform, it's a short action, just really, really nice, efficient case design that pretty much modernizes, in my opinion, it really modernizes the 243 Winchester, right? When you look at it from a bolt gun standpoint, I think it's just such a great option. You know, and if you want to go ahead and pick one up, right, again, run down to Mr. Big Guns, get you a Savage Axis, tell them, hey, you know, Alabama Reloader was talking about it on a video, I got to pick me one up. You know, you just need to be patient, knowing that factory ammo is probably going to take you a while to find some. If you're going to reload for it, components, probably going to take you a while to find some, right? They do have, Mr. Big Guns also has die sets available for 6 arc, so I went ahead and got one of those also. And I've got a ton. I mean, it might weigh a ton by the time the package shows up. An order that I placed with Duck Creek Sporting Goods that is on his way as we speak. You know, I emailed Denny over there. I think he had come across an estate sale and was able to snatch up a whole lot of 6mm stuff. You know, older bullets, right? I mean, you know, older boxes of bullets from Hornadys, Barnes, Sierras, Noslers. It's older stock, right? That apparently this individual had for a long time. But he had it posted on his website at great prices. I went ahead and just bought all of it. Everything I could find that was 6mm stuff. So I've got a lot of stuff coming that we're going to play around with in this new bolt gun. And we're really going to try to see, push these velocities. Nothing crazy, nothing stupid, but I just want to see what we can achieve, you know, real world performance. And I think we're going to have some really good results in this platform. I've got some 87 grain, some of these guys right here, I got some of those coming. I think I've got some 85 grain spear, boat tail Spitzer points coming. I think I've got some 100 grain Sierra Game Kings coming. I want to say I've got some 90 and 95 grain Nosler ballistic tips coming. It's a bunch of stuff. Maybe some 70 grain. I can't even remember what all was in the order. It was a bunch of stuff. So yeah, the UPS guy's not going to be happy when he's got to make that delivery. That box is going to be pretty heavy, but it's going to be awesome to try those out. Try out different bullet weights. You know, in that new Savage Axis, I got to pick it up and find some brass. That's going to be the main thing. I've got powder. I've got some of these powders that it calls for. Some of the higher velocity powders that it uses, you know, like Lever Evolution. I've got that. I've got tack. And then over here, when you get into the heavier stuff, where is it? Yeah, Accurate 2520. I've got a little bit of that. So I've got some stuff to get us started. And then we'll just go from there. So that's it. That's really the comparison. At the end of the day, it's just, I feel like it's a much needed upgrade or improvement to the 243 Winchester, kind of in all facets, even in an AR platform. Because if you wanted a 243 Winchester, it's got to be an AR-10 versus this can be in an AR-15 platform. So it's just a lighter weight package overall, much more efficient case design. And so, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Again, my opinion, moving forward, if you're looking for something, maybe a rifle to get a new shooter involved in hunting or something along those lines, and you don't want to go all the way down to like a 223, a 224 diameter stuff, you want to stick 6mm and larger, then, you know, in my opinion, you know, 6 arc would probably be the way to go. For a new shooter, your recoil is going to be slightly less. Not that recoil is a huge issue with 243 Winchester, but it is going to be a little bit less in the 6 arc. And I think just overall, probably going to be a great package. Once we kind of get on the backside of all this, you know, supply issue and you kind of get ammo availability coming back like it once was, I think you'll be perfectly fine. So, yeah, that's it. That is the 6mm arc versus 243 Winchester video. That's where we're going to leave it. Make sure you guys go. A couple of things to mention. So like I talked about throughout the video, Mr. Big Guns has the rifles in stock. They've got dies in stock. So if you need any of that stuff, run down there, pick it up. Also, they have some awesome scopes to check out. And then don't forget about my buddies over at Midway Pistol and Ammo out in Gurley. Robert, he had posted some comments on a previous video. I think they just got in a Colt Python. If you're into that, you're a wheel gun guy and you're looking for one, they've got one of those. They've got some really nice scopes that they're carrying now. Those they're SIG. I think it's the SIG Buckmasters line. I believe they changed. It's no longer the SIG. Was the SIG whiskey line that they carried for a long time. They transitioned over. I think it's like the SIG Buckmaster series maybe, or something along those lines. They've got a lot of those in stock. Go check those out. Really good glass, really nice hunting scope. That would probably pair great with this type of setup. So go check that out, see what they have. Also, they're a Benchmade knife dealer now, distributor. A lot of really cool knives that they have over there in stock. Go see what they have, check them out, stop in, tell them I sent you. But then one more thing I want to mention. I know this is the tail end of the video. Most people probably won't hang around to hear this, but I'm going to do another follow-up, probably a couple of videos about this topic. Over at the church that I attend, we're going to be putting on a wild beast feast. We did this last year. We're going to be putting on another one March 12th, and it's kind of an all-day event on a Saturday, starting probably about 9 a.m., somewhere in that range, 8:30, 9 a.m., and it's kind of goes into the late afternoon. Wild beast feast. And so what we do, we have a turkey shoot, we have a little BB gun shoot for kids, we have some bluegrass music that'll be going on, we've got a guest speaker, a couple of guest speakers that are coming out. Just a lot of really good time to fellowship together, a lot of fun, a lot of good food. Let's see, last year I think we had some shrimp, some alligator, I can't remember if we had duck, we had deer, we had wild hog, we had all kinds of stuff. We had fish. We try to come together and donate as much meat as we can, especially guys in the church that hunt. We try to donate as much meat as we can. I've already donated some backstrap and some ground deer, so I've got that going. But yeah, so just keep that in mind, that we've got that coming up, and I'll post the name of the church and the address down below in the description. And then again, I'll be doing a couple more videos on that. So I would love for y'all to come out, hang out with us during that event. And the big thing is too, you can win some really cool door prizes, right? Matt over at Mr. Big Guns has already said he would kick in the grand prize, which is a $500 gift certificate over to Mr. Big Guns in Huntsville. So you have an opportunity to win that, and then go do your little shopping spree down there. And I believe Robert said they, over at Midway Pistol and Ammo, they're going to kick in some door prizes as well. So just a really fun time to come together and hang out, and it's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to it. It was a blast last year. We had probably 400 so people come out, even during COVID craziness, we still had a huge turnout. So we're hoping and praying for that again. So y'all just come out, enjoy it, enjoy the time and fellowship together, and it's a lot of fun. So hopefully y'all can make it out. Y'all stay tuned for some more videos, especially on this topic. We'll catch y'all next time. Y'all have a good one.